So here we are on day 3, Norseman to Esperance, 303 kilometers. Norseman is at the top here. You come off the Nullarbor Plain and then you go north to Kalgoorlie or south to Esperance, or on the dirt road that we came in across to Haydn. So we headed south and then we exited to the west towards the Peak Charles National Park. That was really nice through there, and then just past Peak Charles National Park it got really sandy in here and the big BMWs really struggled. Basically they had road tires on or semi off-road tires, so the weight and the tires, they just bogged down in the sand and we couldn't get through, so we turned around and came back to the main road. The other thing that was interesting was the GS probably would have run out of fuel if we'd come this way, and so the GS was starting to run out of fuel going down through here and coming back, and obviously we had to fuel up in Salmon Gums for the GS. The GSA is a big cruiser, so that had plenty of fuel, and the F800 GSA had plenty of fuel as well. And so the lesson from that is, if you're going to buy a bike, probably go the GSA rather than the GS if you think about doing any distances, otherwise you're going to have fuel anxiety. The decision I made after this trip on day 3 was I'm going to get the bigger Safari tank for the Suzuki. I've got the 20-litre Acerbis on it, or a Cherby tank on, whatever you call it, and so that's not enough. 20-litre tank's not enough for the Suzuki, so I'm going to get the bigger Safari tank and fit that, because really sometimes, especially when you're remote WA, you need more than 20 litres. So that was a good lesson from this trip, and as I said, we came back to the main road, headed south, and then the night in Esperance. So let's watch the video and you'll see what it was like. Here we are on day 3, just left Norseman, heading down the Highway 1 towards Esperance. We'll cut off in a minute, so this just gets us to our turn off point. We're going to turn right into the bush and do a few dirt roads that way, and then head south towards Esperance. I've used Garmin tracks on this route because Garmin route kept wanting to send us in lots of different directions and on and off the highway. We just couldn't get the route to be stable, so we created the route in Basecamp and then made a track and exported that to Garmin. I reckon tracks is the way to go. Create your route and then export a track, and that makes it much easier. Anyway, the first bit's pretty easy. We're just heading down the main highway, and then, as I said, we'll head off. So when we get into some dirt roads and I'll show you some of the scenery, we can do that later. So here we are, we've come on Peak Charles Road, and I don't think I've ever seen so many warnings for four-wheel drive all the remote area. So I presume the boys will be just taking it easy, and we'll see how we get on. As I said, I'm going by tracks because Roots doesn't like this, so it's already getting a bit corrugated. Should be quite a nice day actually. It's not a big detour, it's just a small detour through some various places. Once we start to see some points of interest, I'll get you back on the camera. Jesus, this track went to shit real quick. That was like about a kilometre down the road, the bloody track just deteriorated. It obviously gets a lot of flooding down here, so it must get a bit chewed up. I can see why they say four-wheel drive only. Anyway, I'm just going to take it easy. it's not a great road. There's a three BMWs off. I don't know what Bruce is doing with his leg there, but anyway. Kilometres to the campground. Hopefully this isn't a one-way system that we get in and we have to come all the way back out again. I've plotted a route through here all the way to Esperance, so we'll see what it's like. I mean, it's got brown tourist signs, so it shouldn't be too bad. You can see there how the road is gone to a track, literally. Here, Big Charles should come into view. It's not a bad road actually. We've done it. Whether they've done something or it's just natural rock for 20 k's by the looks of it, and then stop for morning tea. Here we're entering the national park, and there's Big Charles there on the left. It's pretty impressive actually. You come out of the coastal plain, which is flat as, and then you hit something like that just sticking up. Supposed to go on took us round the north of that. This road looks like a relatively new road that's going down the south, and it also stops at the campground. So what we're going to do is come down this one and have a look at the campground down here. Good future reference. But obviously it gets a bit of traffic here. It is a track. It's a single track, but it's not. Oh, it must get muddy in the bloody wood when it rains. Anyway, Land Cruiser handles it fine. Charles Peak there. We're looking for the camp. Just stopped for morning tea with the boys. Getting kitted up again. We've been updated. There's the peak there. Quite impressive actually. And we'll get back on the road. Never a sign I like to see when I'm driving in rain's forecast. So here's this track. It gets a bit trackier now, I think. And the boys have headed off already, so I'll catch up. Oh, I'm gonna get my paintwork scratched. I hate that. now. So we've got a little bit to go here, down the south, and then we curve back to the north. So basically we're going around the south of Peak Charles, and then we come back around and meet that one on the north that we didn't want to take. Looks like they've hit the first hill of soft sand, and Bruce is churning his way up at the moment. We'll see how the GSs go. They've got road tyres on, they might be worse. Oh yeah, look at them, they're struggling a bit. They're going to have to gun it. I thought that was bugged already. I don't want to go too far onto the soft sand because I'm going to gun it. Right, the boys have put valour before bravery, or whatever the phrase is. Sensibility before bravery. This coastal plain sand is just too soft for the BMWs, and they've got 80/20 tyres on at best, so the issue they've got is they're just not gripping in this sand, and they can't get up hills. And so we're going to turn round, head back to the main road and go down to the Salmon Gums that way. The Land Cruiser's doing fine, of course, but the bikes are really struggling, so I think it's a good call. I actually drove ahead about a few k's just to have a look, and the sand was actually getting softer. So the Suzuki would probably be okay with knobbly tyres on, but these bikes are just too big, and the road tyres aren't working. So we'll head back to the road now, same way basically, and then we'll head south. Man down, man down. And here's the problem with the big bikes. Fucking lifting them up in the soft sand. Well done, mate, good effort. It doesn't take much to lose control of these big bikes. Look at the wheels, they're just one grip. He's got his outriggers going there like a skidoo. And then it'll get a bit harder going up this hill, and then down the hill it will be off again. He's got a bit tentative now. Good effort, mate. Keep going. This is the trouble with your tyre selection. You know, if you're going to go a tyre selection, it's probably better to go slightly more aggressive, so it's got more utility. The two front GSAs, or GS 1250s rather, have got one's got road tyres and one's got semi-adventure tyres. Bruce has got sort of cross tyres, but they're not gripping in sand. aggressive tyre, it's probably better if you ever think about going off-road. I mean, these tyres are great for the road, don't get me wrong, but as soon as you get a little bit of sand, you're knackered. So anyway, back onto the main track, and here's another soft bit of sand. Interesting, it's his front, it seems to be breaking away rather than the rear. "21-inch wheel with a semi-road tyre, or whatever they call it. It's an 80/20 I think he's got on, Metzeler 80/20. But it doesn't seem to want to grip in the soft sand, so it's not bad up here, top of the hill. We're basically getting into the coastal plain now, that's the trouble. And the coastal plain's got lots of sand, beach sand and soft sand. And so we're going to get a lot of problems as we go forward, so we just have to watch that. Anyway, little distraction, 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll get back to the main road by 11. These big BMWs are struggling in this soft sand. Oh, that's fucking... I shouldn't laugh. They're doing well though. They're big bikes, big heavy bikes with the road tyres on them. Oh, oh, that was a little jiggly. Back at the sand now, so we're going to right. Boys are a bit happier now, they're back on the hard granite sort of rock. Not so much white sand at this side of the Peak Charles, so they're off. You can actually see two of them away in the distance, miles away. Yeah, it's a lot harder this. The other side is just soft sand, and it's a bit of a concern actually for tomorrow, because as we get closer to the coast, it's going to be more coastal plain, soft sand. So might have to think about the route tonight. Anyway, just out the way we came in. That's why it's called adventure bikes. Because it's an adventure and you don't know what's going to happen. Otherwise it would be called predictable journey bikes. Okay, that's probably enough for the video today, and see what we got. And here's the boys arrived in Esperance. Esperance Harbour. Smile boys. Smile and wave.